As you guys are aware, the iceberg, or polar peak, is melting. But the thing is, no other location on the map that's covered in ice or snow is melting along with it. I really wish that I would have caught on to this a lot sooner and made this connection earlier, but I'm an idiot. The thing is, the reason why the iceberg is melting and no other location that's covered in snow isn't melting is because there is something going on at Polar Peak. As you guys might have seen in my previous videos, I was talking about the dragons and the dragon eggs and everything to do with upcoming events in Fortnite. And my theory is the reason why that the iceberg at Polar Peak is melting, and exclusively melting, by the way. If you guys didn't know, upcoming in the next couple of days at Christmas time, Fortnite are theorised, and through leaks, it looks like they're going to be covering the entire map in snow. So it's not as if the snowy locations are melting already, you know, we got them at the start of Season 7 and they're already going away. No, there's more snow to come. Like, the entire map is going to be covered in snow. But why is it only Polar Peak that's melting? Nowhere else is doing it. Nowhere else is being stripped away of snow and ice. It's only Polar Peak, and that is because there is a dragon inside the iceberg that's melting it from the inside out. That is why we hear dripping sounds. That is why over the past couple of weeks we've been seeing the snow melt away from the castle, and we haven't been seeing snow melt away from any other snowy location. And that's because there is a big, massive frozen dragon deep down inside of the iceberg waiting to come out. Now, my reason for believing this is because the whole dragon egg situation, the whole dragon event and everything to do with it, it seems to be concrete at this point. We've seen evidence of dragon eggs in the Fortnite files. We've seen evidence of the dragon eggs in-game in the form of 5 of them being found at once. So my theory is there is an even bigger dragon, because as I said in a previous video, how could the dragon eggs have gotten there if they weren't laid by an existing dragon? And that dragon, the bigger, grown-up adult dragon, is the one that I believe is frozen inside the iceberg and the one that is melting Polar Peak as it is. Now, the reason for this is because the dragon might be so big and so massive in, you know, size that its body heat is the thing that's melting the iceberg. Either that, or because it's a dragon, we've been seeing for hundreds and thousands of years depictions of dragons and the fact that they can breathe fire. They produce it inside of themselves, and then they make it come out of their mouth in the form of fire. That could also be another factor as to why the iceberg is melting. You know, the fire inside the dragon is heating up, the dragon is starting to awaken, and the fire is burning hotter and hotter inside itself as it starts to wake up and get ready to fly and destroy the map or whatever. And that is why the iceberg is melted and nowhere else is, because nowhere else on the map has a dragon in it, or so we believe, because no other place on the map that's covered in snow with the introduction of Season 7 is melting. It's only Polar Peak, and I believe there is a dragon inside Polar Peak that is melting it from the inside out. And also we've been seeing that there is a part of the iceberg, I'll try and see if I can find an image and put it on screen for you right now. There is a part of the iceberg that if you move far away enough, it starts to hang off the edge, and it's almost as if it's going to fall off. So maybe as time progresses, as more of the iceberg melts, part of the iceberg is like cracked and shed away, and parts of the iceberg start to melt and crack and rip open, revealing the dragon inside. Now, I believe that this will happen sometime in the new year. I originally believed a couple of weeks ago that it was going to happen around about Christmas, but we haven't really had too many developments over the past couple of weeks. We haven't really had anything major go on. We haven't even seen the dragons in-game, as in us as a player, you know, ourselves. We can't physically go up to it and look at it in-game. Someone had to go and glitch their way into some sort of playground mode and find the eggs. Some people had to data mine to find the egg files. As of right now, you can't drop into a game, go to Polar Peak and just find eggs lying around. That isn't a thing. I've tried. I've destroyed the entire castle. I'm trying so I can overlay some footage so you can see. I got a bunch of explosives, destroyed the entire place, and I couldn't find any sign whatsoever of buried dragon eggs or anything. So as far as it being, you know, the event being at Christmas, I'm not so sure about that, unless they decide to pull, you know, a surprise on us and be like, wait, surprise, the iceberg's melted, here's the dragon. But with Fortnite, they tend to build it up slowly over time. They release little hints, they release events that lead on to other events, and they kind of build it up as a big hype train that people can get on board with. They never really, go out of their way to, like, boom, speed everything up and surprise you. It's always little Easter eggs and little, bits of information planted throughout the map. So I believe that it will happen either in the new year or, at very late Christmas, but that is very, very close. Christmas is 2 days away as of this recording, and nothing's been said, and no other developments have happened apart from more of the castle being revealed. So if this is going to be an event, it's going to be a very slow burning event that's going to be happening over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're going to be seeing the iceberg gradually melt even more. Maybe parts of the castle and the iceberg start to fall apart and fall off the edge of the cliff, and then eventually we'll be able to see, perhaps in the same way that we can see the baby dragons in the eggs. If you guys didn't know, if you look at the eggs that are in the files right now, inside of the eggs you can see a silhouette of a baby dragon. Maybe over the course of the next couple of weeks, as more of the iceberg melts, we'll start to see a silhouette or a shadow of the big dragon that's frozen inside of the iceberg. I've tried flying about, I can't see anything yet because it's too early to know for definite what's inside it. But the fact that it's only Polar Peak that's melting and no other location leads me to believe that there is a massive dragon asleep or frozen inside the iceberg waiting to be released, either A, by the iceberg melting naturally through, the body heat of the dragon, or B, it's something to do with the Ice King. Maybe the Ice King shows up in an event and he plunges his Infinity Blade into the ice, similar to how the Lich King in World of Warcraft did to release his dragon, because that's what he did. He plunged his sword into the iceberg, releasing his dragon, and then the dragon went out and started killing everything. So either that could happen, or the more likely option is we'll start to see more of the snow being melted over the course of the next couple of weeks or months, and then the dragon is released. I don't believe that the eggs are anything to do with it, because they're just babies. They're not even hatched yet. They wouldn't have the body heat or the fire potential, judging by the size of them, to produce this much heat. It's a massive, massive iceberg. It's really big, so only a really big dragon or a really big creature could produce that much heat to melt that much snow and melt the iceberg as it is. So we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully this comes true, because I've been predicting stuff since Season 7 started, and it's all come true so far. So hopefully my streak isn't over, but I still can't believe that it's taken me this long to make these two ends meet. Like, only Polar Peak's melting, no other location is melting, so it has to be a dragon inside the iceberg melting it from the inside out. So hopefully I'm right in that, because that would be really cool as an event in Fortnite. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the content that I post on this channel. My name has been Sleek Ozzy, and I will see each and every one of you in my next video. Goodbye, guys.